Hi, everyone. I'm Deb Gruel. Welcome. Some people wonder how to pronounce my name, so I tell them it sounds like the two words grew and well. So, grew well. Thanks, thanks to all of you for joining us today to celebrate 10 little fireflies coming into the world. Yay! I'm so glad that this is out here in the world, and I'm so glad you could join us. I hope you're all doing well, and I wish I could see each of you face to face, but at least this way we're able to invite everyone. And though our hearts may be heavy because of continuing big issues in the world, I'm learning to look for and celebrate the good I find along the way, even during the hard times. So thank you for celebrating here with us today to do that too. And I'll also be online to chat with you during this party, so put a note in the comments to let me know that you're here and where you're watching from. I would love to know that. I love that my new book is about fireflies. I wanted children to know that even when the night grows dark, we can still discover gifts of wonder and joy in those dark nights. And it also teaches them how to count down to bedtime. We'll also be celebrating by giving away books during 3 giveaways. We'll be giving away 2 separate copies of the new book, 10 Little Fireflies. And since it's a companion book to the first one was 10 Little Night Stars in this written for Zonder kids. And the second was Sleepy Time Colors. We'll also do a grand prize giveaway of all 3 signed books in this series. And I'll tell you when we're going to do a giveaway. And you can watch the comments then, where we'll be posting about how to enter each one during the next 10 to 15 minutes. And I have some wonderful people helping me answer your comments and questions, so feel free to ask any questions or share any comments too. And at the end, I'll do my very first reading of 10 Little Fireflies. I can only keep the reading portion up today, launch day, due to copyright rules. So I can only guarantee that you can watch that part if you're here for the real event today and the rest of the evening. I'm going to keep this party to under 30 minutes. So if you want to have your kids join you for the reading part today, I'll start reading in about 10 minutes. So this is 10 Little Fireflies, and I'm so glad it's finally here. Here's some of the cute inside pages. I have friends whose books have been stranded on a barge waiting to unload, and they're a month late so far. And I don't take for granted anything like a printed book actually arriving and being available. So yay. I'm so grateful to be able to contribute another book to help little ones feel cozy and secure in this anxiety-ridden world. When my kids were little, they often felt more anxious as it grew dark and it was time to fall asleep at night. So one of my favorite things is to write stories that help children feel safe and comforted so they can drift off to sleep. And it's about fireflies too, or as some people call them, lightning bugs. So this one also helps children discover the gift of wonder with the idea that there are gifts to be discovered even during dark nights. And Gabby Murphy, the same illustrator who did the illustrations for 10 Little Night Stars and Sleepy Time Colors, did another amazing job of creating the cute woodland animals like hedgehogs and owls for this book's glimpse into the wonder of a child's summer evenings. So this is the 3rd book that we've now created together, and I'm very grateful for that collaboration with her. Okay, let's do our first giveaway right now. We're going to give away one of the first signed copies of 10 Little Fireflies. We're posting the directions to enter the first giveaway in the comments, so look in the comments now for how to enter. And while you do that, I'll tell you that I did lots of research on fireflies for this book. So let me tell you a little bit about them. They only live in certain parts of the world, and you can only see them there on certain warm summer nights. And some of them that live around the Great Smoky Mountain area can synchronize their flashing so they all flash on and off at once. Isn't that amazing? I think fireflies are one of the great wonders of the world. I've never lost my sense of awe at seeing fireflies. Just when you think the day is done and all is growing dark, they light up and they float and fly and glow and blink on and off and bring magic to the dark night. So let me tell you about how I was first introduced to fireflies. I grew up in California where Sadly, there are no fireflies. But since my grandparents and cousins live back in Ohio, we often spent our summer vacations with them. And in Ohio, they had lots of fireflies. In fact, my mom is here, so let me introduce her. This is my mom, Helen. Hi, Mom. Thanks for being here.
I'm really glad to be here.
You need to sit down so we can see you on the screen.
This is really a privilege and a lot of fun. So, this is the party. We have such good memories of our visits to Ohio, where our families were happy to have us visit. Who would have imagined that a book about fireflies would come out of those visits?
It's so great.
Yeah, great. Thanks for
celebrating with me, Mom. I remember the warm summer nights playing with my cousins in those backyards in Ohio while my parents and grandparents chatted after dinner. And I remember the first time I saw the magical glowing creatures appear and start floating around in the backyard. I was fascinated. It felt like starlight had come down almost close enough for me as a child to touch. And watching fireflies glow in the darkness still creates a sense of awe and wonder in me. Even as an adult, visiting my friend Treva in Missouri, I had to sit out on her porch and watch the fireflies in her yard at night. Fireflies remind me that when it gets dark, if I look, I can still find beauty and wonder and light, even in the darkest night. Watching fireflies as a child also made me thankful that there was a God who cared enough for us to create these delightful tiny creatures for us to enjoy. When I watched fireflies take to the air and beam their light on those warm nights, I somehow felt God's bigness and the way he cared for me. If he cared enough to create these awesome little flying night lights, I knew God was big enough and kind enough to take care of me too. And that made me feel that the world was safe because a loving, powerful, creative God was in charge. So I hope 10 Little Fireflies helps your little ones feel the same sense of wonder and security of being cared for by a big, kind, and creative God when they read it too. If you're looking for some fun activities to do with your child, or you'll be teaching your preschooler at home, or you're a preschool teacher, mini children, or a children's librarian, you can also get this activity kit with activities that go with 10 Little Fireflies. And it has pages of fun activities and coloring that kids can do that goes along with the book. So that is available at debgruel.com. You can find it there. That's my website. So let's do our second giveaway right now. To enter to win another signed copy of 10 Little Fireflies, look in the comments now to see how to enter, and you can follow those directions. And while you're entering that giveaway, I want to say thank you to a few people. A book this beautiful takes more than just an author's words. So thank you for the support from my wonderful editor, Barbara Herndon, as well as all the other teams at Zonder Kids, HarperCollins Christian, for making this book possible, for helping my books to be discovered, and for sponsoring the giveaways tonight. And I want to give another shout out to Gabby Murphy, the amazing illustrator, who has made the cuddly animals in this and all three of these series of books so lovable. A thank you to Wendy Lawton, my agent at Books and Such Literary Agency, and my friend. Thank you to Jessica, who's been assisting me before and during this launch. The business end of writing children's books can be daunting, and I couldn't have done this without her help. And to my son, Matthew, who has also helped me a great deal with the business side of my writing. There wasn't room for a dedication in this word book, but if there was, the dedication would have read, to my son, Matthew, whose appearance solidified my belief in miracles. All of my children are miracles, but Matthew is my youngest adult child. He arrived after 17 years of struggling with infertility and several losses. While each of my hoped-for children was an absolute miracle by birth or adoption, his birth was a miracle of pure grace when I'd given up hope. And last but not least, I thank each of you parents or grandparents or teachers or guardians or librarians and friends who have read this or my other books to the little ones you care about. Thank you for the staggering number of reviews you've left and for sharing your excitement with me about this book. Okay, let's do our third giveaway now, and then I will read the book. So to enter to win a signed copy of 10 little fireflies and 10 little night stars and sleepy time colors all together. Look in the comments now to see how to enter and follow those directions to enter. Thank you for being here today. If you're like me, you can get overwhelmed by the enormity of the world's problems. One person's efforts seem so meager, and I often forget the cumulative effect of small choices I can make. But the cumulative result, when many people offer the small gifts they have to give, well, the results can be amazing. So keep shining your light. I'll come back on in just a sec to read 10 Little Fireflies to you and the kids. Thanks again for your support for the message in my books, for your support of me, and for coming to my party to celebrate 10 Little Fireflies.